family of Audeon and Guy are speaking out tonight and they are demanding answers.
Having seen the treatment their father was subjected to in undercover footage broadcast in an RTÉ Investigates documentary last week, they've taken the decision to identify him and themselves to try to get accountability.
Audeon and Guy is 80 years old. He has a rare form of dementia. Originally from Inchicore in Dublin, he raised his family in Tallaght, and that family have come together for their father to give him his voice back. They've been speaking to Aoife Hegarty.
It was at these two private nursing homes, the Residence Portlaoise and Beneavin Manor on Dublin's north side, both run by the for-profit company Amse Ireland, that last week RTÉ Investigates uncovered a litany of substandard care. From crowded rooms.
You're in here by yourself? Yeah. With 23 residents? Yeah.
And inappropriate handling.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that okay?
To shortages of basic supplies.
Do you have any gloves? No.
We have no wipes.
No?
It was frail, older and vulnerable residents who ultimately suffered.
We're actually lying in urine. Okay.
We're actually causing bed sores.
We don't have enough shit, okay?
Listen.
What?
I have to go to
The Health Information and Quality Authority has confirmed that it is carrying out a review of all nursing homes operated by the Amse Ireland Group after multiple...
Since that broadcast, further revelations, with it emerging the Residence Portlaoise had breached a restriction on admissions imposed by HIQA in April, following significant concerns. The Health and Safety Authority has also confirmed it too will be conducting inspections. While HSE personnel, including safeguarding teams, have attended both homes. But what about the families at the centre of this scandal? Paul Guy lives in Glasnevin in Dublin. He represents just one of tens of families who have seen the events of the last week turn their lives upside down. Just down the road is Beneavin Manor. Over the weekend, we sat down with Paul, hearing how just earlier this year he and his siblings Sarah, Cassandra and Dave had carefully chosen the nursing home to care for their father Audeon.
My father, Audeon, is from Inchicore. He's a very religious man, a very charitable man who never drank, never smoked, and an incredibly disciplined man and a real parent of principle. He's a very caring man, full of love. He's very much dedicated to his family.
It was late last year, following a bad fall, that Audeon was diagnosed with dementia.
He was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, which in my opinion is the hardest and most toughest one to deal with because you go through horrific hallucinations and forgetfulness. He went from being a very proud, courageous man who started to lose his confidence.
Suddenly thrust into an unfamiliar world, Paul and his siblings turned to HIQA for guidance, sifting through the regulator's inspection reports to find the best nursing home for Audeon.
Myself and Dave and Sarah and Cassandra went through all the HIQA reports for every nursing home that we put through, and we did many. I think there was 70 nursing homes we applied for. In Beneavin Manor, we had read the reports, and it seemed to be a very safe place to go. We looked at the brochures, I went and did a tour, it seemed to be fine.
Audeon and Guy moved into Beneavin Manor in January this year.
Well done, Dad. Well done.
But before long, his family started to have concerns.
Well done.
He was actually left alone many times. I have examples of him sitting on his own in the corridor, ripping up pieces of paper, which is meant to be forms of activity. I've witnessed him cold, with a blanket wrapped around him. I've witnessed really poor care in terms of his toenails that were left for weeks to grow and rot, that I had to go in myself and try cut them. It's actually really upsetting, this. And another day, there was urine all over the floor and in his bedroom, or in his bathroom. And the toilet seat wasn't there, it was gone. And it just seems to be a consistent flow of really poor care for people who are in dire need of attention.
One more.
Apple, chocolate, crisps.
Correct.
Concerned by what they were seeing, Paul and his siblings started to make complaints to management at Beneavin Manor.
There are some very personal ones that have happened to my father, that he was handled incorrectly when one of the carers was checking if my dad needs to use the toilet or not. He did this in front of my two sisters. He put his hand in an inappropriate place, which shocked my dad, made my sisters cry, and many, many other things that are completely inappropriate to handling elderly people.
A week later, and things had not improved. Paul again writing to complain about his father's care, including a lack of carers, residents being left on their own, residents who wanted to use the toilet left for lengthy periods of time, and Audeon's clothes not being washed. In early March, Paul's complaint was upheld, with a series of corrective actions put in place to address the family's concerns, including one staff member being reallocated, retrained and placed under observation. Yet 3 weeks later, RTÉ's undercover healthcare assistant witnessed this scene.
You won't.
Who wants to
Give it over. Look at this. Look at this.
keep walking?
Mom will be allowed to.
Oh, God.
Good night with this. You don't know.
Oh, God.
Stop that.
I know.
Stop that. Stop that.
Oh, God.
Stop that, get out of my room. You know, everybody can leave into this room.
Why? Yeah.
When I saw the actual footage, I was shocked, but not to the point of, it wasn't a revelation. And that's what's really unfortunate. And I want to make people aware, we done everything. We put all the complaints in, we did everything from day one, notified everyone that was required, got responses back, acknowledgement of all their mistakes, plans being put in place. This still happened. So that's really frustrating that this still happens to my father. And not just my father. It's happened to all the other people that was on that footage as well. And that's the bigger issue. There's no accountability for this.
How angry and upset does that make you feel as a family?
Yeah, I don't... Guilt. I'm sorry, it was guilt. We felt bad. We felt bad at what we did. And they just let us down. No one should go through that. No one should be handled that way. These are human people. These are people who lost their dignity. No one should go through that.
But the trauma for Paul and his siblings didn't end there. Just a week after hearing from RTÉ, Paul was at work when he missed a series of calls from his father.
One of the voicemails, when I heard back, it was horrible, Aoife. Basically, he was told he'd be reported if he used his phone again. And the voicemail, when you hear it, the carer in question says, "You're using your phone, Audie, I'm going to report you." And then she says, "Who are you talking to?" And then she says, "Oh my God, it's Paul. Delete the message." To be told he's going to be reported actually made him scared. He didn't make a phone call for the next couple of days because he's afraid he's going to be reported.
In the wake of last week's RTÉ Investigates documentary, members of the Amse Ireland executive team have again in recent days apologised to Paul's family, saying the standard of care depicted in the footage was unacceptable. Among the actions the family was assured had been taken immediately to safeguard their father was a full investigation into staff practice, including suspension pending the outcome of the investigation, and additional management supervision, training and additional staff.
Nothing's changed. There's still the same amount of carers that were there than there were before. Not enough. He was sitting on his own yesterday in a chair in the kitchen. We went down to his room together and he said, "Paul, I know where I am." It's the first time he said that. He said, "Paul, I know I'm in a nursing home. You need to get me out of here." He doesn't know how bad that nursing home is. He just thinks he's in a nursing home. And he asked, "Can I give him a lift and take him home?" And I can't take him home. Not now, but myself and my family are doing our best to get our dad out of there.
For Paul's family, key to protecting people like their father is the urgent need for government to enact the Adult Safeguarding Bill, a vital law which could protect vulnerable individuals from harm, abuse and neglect. The legislation has been repeatedly promised by successive governments in the 20 years since the Lees Cross scandal.
I just feel it's falling on deaf ears. And I think this news item will be here today. I don't know it's going to be there in a couple of weeks. It's been sitting there in the government for ages. We need to push this through.
Still reeling from the events of the last few weeks, the Guy family are now looking for alternative care for their beloved father Audeon.
Well done, Dad. That's brilliant.
But finding a suitable nursing home where there is a vacancy is far from easy. That search has now been made even more difficult, they say, having lost faith in a regulatory system that should have protected their vulnerable father.
And we just want what's right for our dad. I go up to see him every day, pretty much every day, because I live so close. I dread going to see him. It's what I'm going to find, and that worries me. Whatever nursing home he goes into next, I want to be assured that the HICWA reports actually substantiate what they're saying in those reports. And at the moment, I don't believe them. So therefore, I'm at a loss. Who do I trust? I go by word of mouth. Who do I trust? Where's the next place for my dad to go?